The Whose Turn Is It Anyway podcast returns to the UK Games Expo this year. We're running a live episode on Friday the 30th from 12 till 1, where we want to meet our listeners. We want you to come and join in on the show, get involved, or just come and participate, bring your lunch and rest your feet for a while. We hope to see you there and hope you have an amazing UK Games Expo.
Welcome to Whose Turn Is It Anyway? You're here with me, Davey, JP,
Hello.
Tambo,
Hello.
and Rob.
Hi.
So this episode, I'm going to be doing my best Tim Westwood impression. All right, we've got a little bit of a Pimp My Ride episode, but we're calling it Davey's Chop Shop, where we're going to be switching up some mechanics of your favorite board games or board games that you hate. One of the two, but
Nice.
yeah. Before that, let's talk about Hex, shall we? So, let's start with Tambo. What have you been up to?
So recently I played Finspan in the Devon Board Game weekend on the Saturday. And it was another span game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. it's hard to write. So it was good in its own way, but I would say out of Wingspan, one span, and that is the lightest.
Yeah, so this is like the introductory game is the way people have been describing it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you want a lighter weight of all the spans, I would say Finspan's definitely the lighter weight.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same process. You got fish. You're trying to have your own sea of fish with their fin span. So, and you go literally dive. You got your three sections again. It's pretty much the same. You can play cards. You got like a play card section. You've got a lay egg section, which is like you normally do, and then the last section is a little bit different. You've got a hatching section, so your eggs hatch. Difference in this one, you can only ever have one egg per fish. Mm-hmm. And then if you hatch them, they go into these little swarms of 3 fishes. And then you can, on the hatching side, you get to move them around. And if you move 3 of the swarms into one area, you go to a big swarm, which will double your points at the end. So that is probably the only different kind of mechanic that game brings.
Okay. So it's the same otherwise.
It's pretty much the same otherwise. There are no food resources. It's all mainly your resources cards. So you to play a fish, you discard cards out your hand, and you may always keep your own discard pile. And then there's a mechanic where you can get your discard cards back. So you can always think, I might discard this fish, but I will get it back eventually. So you can always think that you think that far ahead.
Okay.
There is other mechanics where fish eat other fish. So you still got the predator ability on it. Some cost little fish as well. So when you hatch them, some fish need to eat them. That's another resource sometimes.
Only your own, not other people.
Yeah, only your own. You don't affect anyone else. Yeah, it was good. I mean, if you're
Tell your voice.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you want a lighter weight span, that's the best one to have.
So it's more of one to play with your family, maybe, or maybe just introduce someone to a board game
to the span,
the series.
Yeah, series. Right. Yeah, I would definitely Finspan's probably your introduction game.
But if you've got Wingspan, you probably don't need Finspan unless you want to collect them all.
No, yeah. So Wingspan was. I think Wingspan's. I mean, one span that people like the most. I mean, Wingspan I thought was just a bit too. It's good. You can get bigger engines going in Wingspan, but it takes longer between turns, right? Yeah. That's the downfall. And one span, so you've got a good engine you can get going, and it's quicker, a lot fluent. Yeah, and Finspan is very fluent. It's literally boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then done. But yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you literally have 4 depths you can go down, so when you don't get massive combos going.
Yeah,
okay. So, I do wonder how wide this will span, board game-wise.
Nice.
With these spans.
I hope it... Well, I was kind of hoping it stopped at Worm, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I don't know. I kind of get to the point with these games, I'm just like just do a little groan.
It's because they're trying to ride the same series, right? If that was its own game, but had a different name, it probably wouldn't sell as well. But we probably also wouldn't roll our eyes at it as much, right?
Probably.
You'd be fine with it. Yeah. But, I mean, I think they've still... Wasn't Jamie saying that he's still got like more spans in the L spangin or the engine? Yeah.
Possibly, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the end of round tiles are set exactly the same. You have random ones you flip over both sides, and it's called end of week tiles in this one. But yeah, same thing.
Sounds pretty weak. So
I don't want to diss it because I like Finspan.
Tell us how you really feel, Davey.
I think, yeah.
But that's how I think you feel about it. It is weak. Of the Finspan, that is the weakest one of them all.
yeah.
But
Some people like that.
But it's targeted
Yeah, yeah.
for a specific gamer, isn't it? So, I rag on it quite a lot in terms of these spans and, insert name here, span kind of games, but they're not for me anyway. So that's probably why I do. Do you know what I mean? I'm like...
Yeah. I did enjoy Worm. I enjoyed
I've
Worm.
not played Worm yet.
I think it's actually better than,
So everyone
than
thinks
Wingspan, but I would have preferred a different theme. I would have preferred the underwater theme on Wormspan.
The mechanics of Wormspan.
With the mechanics of Wormspan, and I probably would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah, you could just do underwater caves. You could probably still do it, couldn't you? Really?
You could
Think
still
about
do it,
Yeah, easy.
because the theme of Wingspan, I actually thought, it's like, do you want to be a bird kind of person and watch birds? It's like, well, great, but actually, I was like, the theme's really cool because it's different.
well, it's got all the birds on there with their little stats and everything, and it's associated to real animals, so it's quite cool in that sense.
When that came out, I was like, this is different because it was new. Like, there's nothing else like it. Mm-hmm. I thought, good job with Wingspan. And I owned it for a bit and kind of had my time with it.
I do enjoy Wingspan when I play it.
Yeah.
My family like to play it now and again. So
Definitely our family
It's a good
favourite
game.
yeah.
Was it just me or did Finspan just turn up out of nowhere? Because I didn't know if it was coming. It was just, there's a fish.
But this is what Stonemaier do, and I quite like actually what they do in the way that they announce and release games. So they'll keep things secret all the way up to the point where maybe 2 months
And then
before release, if that.
Yeah.
So they'll do a big announcement, say, this is the new thing that's dropping. And then the pre-order literally is like a week later.
that's what
And then you get the game a month and a half after that.
Which is good because you don't get the whole FOMO thing,
Exactly.
or you don't get the kind of the hype beforehand.
Yeah.
And usually you hype a game up, and it's a year before it's even released, and then you wait in a year, right?
Exactly.
And then it turns up and you've forgotten about it. You're like, oh right, this game.
So
I
I
bought.
I give them kudos for that and the way that they manage, and that they're very kind of sure of what they do, and the fact they're going to get the numbers and the printing and the sales. So, I'll give them props for that as Stonemaier Games because, it takes some balls to do it that way.
Yeah.
Whereas the others go, we'll play it safe and we'll just see who's interested and then we'll send you it 7 years later, But hey.
But they've kind of got the backing there, right?
Yeah.
Beforehand, so they can do that.
Yeah, they've got the clout.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. How about you, Rob?
Well, speaking of games that you back and forget about and take 7 years to arrive, it wasn't that long. It felt like that long, though. My copy of the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, they started designing it when the first game came out, wasn't it? The video game. 8 years ago.
I don't know. I have no idea on that one, and you might have to fact check that one. But no, it's here and it's beautiful. It's so pretty, and yeah, this is just like it's fastly become my favorite game ever. I absolutely adore it. It's the quality of the components is just fantastic, and I'm a massive Elder Scrolls fan anyway. And for me, it just hits it presses every button. It's incredible. I love it.
Yeah, me and JP played with Paul
We did.
during a live stream.
We did.
So if you want to check that out, go and check that out for Gaming Rules.
We'll put a link in the notes.
We'll put a link in the notes.
Check it out.
But Rob's got it now, and I think you guys played it on sometime recently as
Sunday.
well.
Yes. Yeah. A lot to learn. There's a lot like Too Many Bones. There's a lot of keywords.
Yeah.
And JP knows them when you know all of the keywords for Too Many Bones, and you don't really take for granted how much that speeds the game up because you know them all.
Yeah.
When you're learning it for the first time and you've got to reference every single one, it took a lot longer than expected, and we had a couple of rule checkups and things like that. And considering how thick the rule book is, it's actually quite easy to navigate. It's probably the most I've ever looked at a rule book. And that's saying something because I don't typically, I refer to them and watch a video. But yeah, so we did the first campaign and we accidentally did it on a higher complexity than we realised. And the complexity kind of comes into what's required of you to win the engagement rather than the mechanics. So it doesn't make the game harder. It just, the scenarios are harder. or at least that was the experience we had. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic. I just love it. The fact that it's still set up on the table now.
Yeah.
You know, just so that I can try and get to it when I can, just to nip in like half an hour if need be. The customization, the amount that's in that box, you know, if you had 2 regions, there'd be enough there for a long time. But the fact that you've got 6 regions, I think with the expansion you get 6. And it's just amazing. So I love it. It's fantastic. It's quite fastly becoming my favourite game ever. And I look forward to doing a campaign with you as well.
Let's quickly talk about our character builds then.
Okay.
Because that's one of the best bits about the game I found is how modular your characters are.
Yeah, so I don't even know how many different classes that you can be.
No idea.
I'd say about 10 to 12 different classes that you can be. And there's all the races from the game as well. So there's at least 6-7 races that you can be. So I mean, the customization in that alone, you want to be a character who's a necromancer, you can do that. You want to be, you know, Legolas, you want to be an acrobatic archer, you can do that. You can, which JP's character. You want to be just a tank, just an absolute battle brute that soaks up damage. You can do that. And, you know, there's not, or at least we haven't found that there's not a set kind of a meta. Everything will work with everything. It's just kind of what you feel that you want to be. So
some things would naturally work better with other things, though, right?
Naturally, but it's not, because you can tailor it to where, you know, when you level up, you put skill points in what you want. You put skill points into skill lines that you want to try. So, and you can up all your stats anyway. So if you've got a type of character that's low on magic, you can quickly get them to a level where they can do that. So, I just think it's fantastic, and I think it's going to keep me going for a very, very long time. So, and I got the all-in pledge as well.
Of course you did.
Came with it came with an art, the art of the Elder Scrolls, and I was like, I've been playing this game. You know, the genre.
One special van just for you to unload all of your board game bits.
Well, no, because it was a standard van, but I pre-ordered 2 games, and they sent them in the same van. So I paid for delivery, and they came in the same van. So I feel a little bit cheated, but that was more luck than judgment.
Yeah, the fact that they've been on different ships and different containers doesn't matter, does it?
But I didn't see any of that. I just saw the guy, I'd just drop off these 2 giant boxes, which...
Why did I pay £20 for shipping?
Yeah. So, but no, other than that's kind of what I've been up to. And it's like I say, I think we've spoken about it on the pod before. Classic sort of adventuring game. But the fact that it's over 3 chapters, we'll give you a full rundown when we've done all 3. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, the replayability comes with the scenarios along with the character customization, right? And the fact that there's going to be a lot more variables every time you play it. So you're going to get that replayability rather than one long campaign, which is actually going to be more accessible.
Definitely.
So I understand the appeal. I really enjoyed it when I played it. So I look forward to giving it a go.
We will definitely do it, man. I can't wait.
How about you, JP?
Yeah, I've got a small game that I purchased, and I blame Marcus for this. So if you're listening, Marcus, this is all your fault. It's all your fault. So we was at the Devon board game weekend, and I noticed he had this very small box, this cube-looking box called Compile. And I've heard about this because it's been on my feed. Like, they've been doing some aggressive social media marketing on this game, because it must know I like Netrunner. It must know I like cyberpunky kind of things. And it's been like, here's Compile. And I was like, oh, go away, bugger off. And then I saw Marcus playing it with Joel from Devon Dice podcast. And so I thought, when I get home, I'll just check it out. So what is it? And then I had a look and went, oh, that's quite fun. And then I bought it because it was like 16 quid. So I'm like, well, it's only 16 quid. If it's shit, nah. Do you know what I mean? So demand. So Compile is a dueling card game. So it's max 2 player. You play as rogue AI. So you're both kind of rogue AI going against each other. And I don't know what the story is. It probably isn't much of a story. It's just an excuse for it to be a cool theme. And you kind of have 3 lines that you're playing cards into. But first, you kind of have a drafting phase where you have all these protocols that you can draft, and I can't remember how many you get in the box. Let's say 12, and there'll be things like love, death, hate, speed, gravity, metal, whatever, these kind of words. And each protocol comes with 6 cards. So you pick 3, or you draft 3. So you kind of, first player picks 1, the second player picks 2, and then the other player picks 2, and then you pick 1. So you kind of end up with 3 protocols each. You take your 3 sets of 6 cards, here's your 18 cards, shuffle, and that's your deck. So depending on the protocols you pick will depend on your play style. So if you're picking death, you can expect some knobby, kill, wipe the board kind of cards in there. If you're picking speed, you're likely to have cards that you can shift around the board quite a lot. If you're doing psychic, as an example, you can look at the other player's card. So a lot of the key words and the powers that these decks are going to bring, it depends on what you pick. So you pick them and you line up your protocols in 3 lines, and you're all kind of playing opposite each other. So basically 3 lines all the way through. And the idea of the game is that you need to get a power of 10 on the line for you to compile the protocol, flip it over, and that's done. And once you've done all 3, you win. So it's really simple what you need to do, but like any quite good dueling card game, your opponent's stopping you and you're stopping them, and you're like doing all these kinds of things. So all the cards have a power rating on them that could range from 0 to 6, I think. And then usually the 0s are really good, powerful abilities, and the 6 are actually probably penalise you more for playing them, but 6, right? So you're getting close to your goal. It's a really fast-paced game. Me and Josh, my son, were playing it at the weekend when we were visiting family, because it's so small, the box. You just take it anywhere you want. And we had a couple of games, and first game was like, what's going on? Don't really know. And I think I ended up winning quite quickly. And then he said, let's play again. And then he just got it. And then he was just basically dicking me over every 5 minutes. And he's like, I'm going to pick death. And just when you're about to get to 10, he's like, that card's dead. That goes in your discard. That's erased or whatever. And that goes in the trash. It's like, so it became this really nice push and pull, which is what you want from a dueling card game, really. And it plays fairly quickly, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And it's just quite cool. And it's really well produced for what it is. The card stock is really nice. It's got foil elements on the cards. It's all nice and shiny. And it's just quite a simple game.
Yeah, when I saw it looked more than £16.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's only 16 quid.
I think I got it for 16 quid. I got the little mini expansion for, I don't know, 8 quid, which gives you a few more protocols and a few more cards to pick from. But yeah, it's just a little cool game. I'd recommend it, if you like that kind of, it's not really like Netrunner at all, but if you like that kind of cyberpunky card game vibe, just give it a go.
You always find these little gems of card games, don't you? You always seem to come up with them. Yeah,
just find them and get them and then never play them. That's usually what happens. But I really enjoyed it. It's got some cool little mechanisms. And I suppose what I should say is that each card has got like 3 sections on it, and this is the clever part, because you got a top section which is like an ability that's always on. So when you play it, it's always on. So when you do this, do a really cool thing. You've got a middle section on the card, which is when you play it or when it is revealed, then that will trigger. So often the cards you play end up covering other cards, so you can get a card that gets covered, and and when it shifts over, or if it flips over, it will trigger that ability again. So if you know that you've got an ability that's, draw 3 cards, because drawing cards is quite a slow game anyway, and you know that actually I can orchestrate that. If I move that there, flip it, I'll get 3 cards and do what I want to do. So you can
wonder where the programming side came in. So that's obviously the programming side.
You get a little bit of bit of that kind of programming nature. And then the bottom ability on the card is similar to the top, but it will turn off when you put a card over it. Yeah. So even just those simple 3 things, and you're kind of jostling, going, that's a really powerful ability, but I have to get to 10 on that. And obviously when you go into 10, you need to get 10, but also have more than your opponent. So you can be in a situation where I'm at 10 and then they're at 10. And you're like, I need to get to 11. And they're like, no, I'm at 12. And you're like, Rrr. So you end up kind of jostling. And when you compile a line, your opponent's cards get trashed in that line, and so do yours, but then you don't really mind because you've done what you need to do. So the timing of what abilities do you want on, when do you actually compile, and because you're seeing they're getting close, you want to wipe their light, so it's really good little push and pull.
And you could time it so that if they destroy one of yours, it reveals something underneath, which then does something. Right,
just little. Well, not in that case, because if it trashes, goes in your discard pile. So it's
but the card underneath would be revealed, right?
All of them all go in the discard.
Oh, they all go in the discard.
Yeah. So it's quite but you quickly get them back out again. Yeah, so it's not that devastating.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a game. It's pretty cool.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, fun,
different. So I've played a little game called Lord of the Rings, the trick-taking game. It's a nice, snappy title.
The Fellowship of the Ring.
The Fellowship of the Ring. Yeah, sorry, I didn't even say the full title.
No, you stopped at 2/3 of the way through.
And I didn't expect to enjoy this game as much as I did. This game, all it is really is a trick-taking co-op game. And you think, what? Sorry, did you just say trick-taking co-op game? Yes, I did just say trick-taking co-op game.
I'm more impressed you said it that many times that quickly, to be honest with you.
And you'll each have to pick, depending, well, if you have the one ring, you have to be Frodo for most of them. Frodo's got a set amount of abilities, or he's got a win condition, which is he has to win a certain amount of ring cards of that suit.
Yeah, 5 rings? We win 5 rings?
3 rings.
3
I
rings.
think. 3 rings. There's 5 total in the deck. Then there'll be other characters out with other abilities, and it depends on what scenario it is as to what characters are out. And from Frodo, you then choose what character you think best suits your hand. So if you've got a load of high numbers, you might think, oh, I'm going to pick Bilbo, which I think Bilbo is the one that has to win the most hands. And then you've got Pippin, who needs to lose a load. So you might, if you've got all 1s and 2s, you might want to pick that. But it plays like a trick-taking game. The person that plays the suit, that's the suit. And you each have to play from that suit unless you can't. And then you can change suit. So it works in the fact that sometimes you're forced to play your best card and you're forced to win a hand because that's what you can do. Because other people obviously don't know, and you can't give out that information. You can't just say, oh, well, I've got these cards.
Yeah.
Because then that would ruin the game. You know, there's no point in that. But yeah, there's really cool little scenarios that change it up. Like you get the ring wraiths later on that give you negative effects, that give you more kind of rule sets that you have to work around. And we were literally sitting at the table cheering when we got it.
It's like a woo! High-fiving each other.
The people who were close to us thought we were drunk. No, we were just having a good time.
Yeah. Elated, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, merry. It's one of the characters.
Pippin.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, it just surprised me. It's a very simple concept. You could probably play it with some deck of cards and maybe some other cards, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But you'd obviously need the characters and abilities. So you need to. So don't rip it off. Go buy it, because I'm sure it's not even that expensive. It's worth it. Real good fun. Easy to teach. And it's Lord of the Rings.
Difficult to plan, wasn't it? It took us a couple of attempts to get the first one done, and then they're not easy, but they were just fun. Even when you lost, you were just like, shit.
It's a calibration. I had this when the biggest comparison I have this game to is The Crew, which is another
Le Crew.
Not the Le Crew. Not going through this again, David. The Crew, right? And that's a co-op trick-taking game, but you're kind of astronauts doing spacey missions, which you read out of a book and go, forgotten what that is. What are we doing again? We've got to do a special thing. And it's got the similar kind of thing, but this, for me, excels or surpasses that because, well, one, it's Lord of the Rings. You can get into it. So, it's Frodo. And thematically, you can understand why certain things are the way they are as you progress. And the fact that you're following the narrative of the story, which is pretty cool anyway, right? And it's just better. And I don't think I've had that moment where we were all just like whooping because after the 4th attempt on whatever scenario 3 was, going, Jesus Christ, it takes a while for your brain to calibrate to play I think trick taking is an odd fish anyway. It's an old mechanic. It's been in games for donkey's years, isn't it? But when you're not used to it, it's just weird. And then you add the co-op nature, and it's just like, what? Because you're like, I need to lose this, or I don't care about this one, and what you play, and trying to read what cards have been played so that you can mitigate. Like, if I play this, I think Davey's going to be all right. I hope he's going to be all right. And he's like, bollocks, he's not all right. He's had to play his high card. Damn, we're all screwed.
All screwed, and then you go again.
Yeah.
So you can get screwed by the deck, but it's got a real puzzly nature to it. And you have to kind of work out and be like, oh, because there's always one card taken out.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you're Gandalf, that can get switched back in, but it means that the odds are you can be like, oh, well, someone's played. I think that's all the high 8 mountains gone.
Yeah.
So I should be safe playing this now. Mm-hmm. And so you've got a little bit of like puzzly nature, and you have to kind of keep your eye on the ball with it, which, it's really tense.
It's very tense.
A game that is literally trick taking, and you're just sitting there with numbered cards in front of you.
It was harder to lose. Like, you're only allowed to win one. That was much harder than I have to win the most, because I don't know whether it's just because you're geared up to naturally want to win. It's like, right, I've got my one win, and then somebody puts down a card and you're like, oh crap, I've now got to win this. It's like a really strange feeling, like a really counterintuitive feeling where you're like, oh, I'm really sorry, guys, I've got to win this one. And then everyone's just like, oh, start again.
Yeah, I always found a little bit of pressure on that game. You think you don't want to lose the game because you played really bad or you did the wrong cards. It's like, but that's quite a cool exchange mechanic at the beginning. You can exchange your one card to a certain characters, which is really strong. That helps the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you do it right, but then you're looking at someone's facial expression thinking, have I just given the right card? And then when Adrian rolls his eyes going, oh. It's like, great. Whoops.
But the caveat with this is there's also 5 ring cards. So there's 1 to 8 of the other 4, I think. 4, there might be 4 or 5 suit types, and then you've got 5 of these ring cards, which usually Frodo has to win. But these ring cards can't be played unless they've already broken another suit. So someone that doesn't have that suit and has had to play, they can play a ring card because Frodo needs to win them. And then Frodo's got one card that kind of trumps everything, the one ring to rule them all. And that's your little twist of your normal gameplay, really.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only twist.
Yeah. Because normally in these games, you end up with a trump suit.
Yeah.
That you can play, it trumps everything. Because the crew has a trump suit in it where you play, and it's like, done. They're the Rockets, I think. Don't say it, Davey.
I had to hold it back. It was all my willpower to not say it.
But it's a great game, cracking game, and I'd happily play it. I was quite gutted to see you guys carrying on the scenarios, because you carried on past 4, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think I only got to scenario 4, so I was like, oh.
We did that on Friday night, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then you guys carried it on the
It was
Saturday.
cool.
We did,
I'd happily play that. That's quite chill. It's chill but tense, but it's quite
And
nice.
rewarding.
And it's rewarding.
Yeah.
Good.
I need to get it.
It's got the feel of a party game, but but it's more complex.
Yeah.
And it's more rewarding when you win.
Yeah.
And it's only 4 players.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So, but yeah, good. Right, so driving forward onto our main section. And so in this section, we're going to call it Davy's Chop Shop. This is going to be like, it's about mechanics, right? So this is the tenuous link, really, to cars. So each category is going to have like a car, and it's going to be that category of game. So we're going to be picking a game, and we're going to be splicing, we're going to be cutting bits off, we're going to be souping it up, and we're going to be kind of, I wouldn't say improving it. Some games, some of them probably won't even run, let's face it. They'll be left in the chop shop's floor, but we're going to give it a go. And please, the games that we were saying, we're not saying that the mechanics are bad, we're not saying that it should be this way. We're just having a bit of fun with some mechanics in games, because I'm sure you guys have probably, everyone's played a game where they go, I feel like this mechanic could really work in this game, or this could work in this, and it's missing this little thing. So let's give it a go. And if it doesn't work, then hey,
They'll be like most of the cars in Pimp My Ride
Yeah.
after they've done it, because I don't think many of them ran after what they did to them.
I think they took half of it out as well, didn't they? After the show was gone, it's like, here's your PlayStation in your boot. Awesome. We're gonna have to take that out now. What?
Yeah.
You just cut a hole in my car.
You legally can't have that on the road with all of this stuff in because it's not safe to drive.
Why are you taking away my popcorn machine out of the back?
And that's the point, right? These games that we're splicing will not be safe to play.
No, exactly. And some might be. You never know.
Yeah.
We might stumble across some pure gold, but let's face it, probably not.
We're not designers, are we?
No, we're not designers. So we're going to start with the Citron Saxos of the board games, right? So this is going to be a lightweight game. I'm going to throw in my splice. So I've been working on this throughout the day. I've put some nice pretty colours on. I've spliced Uno with Hogwarts Battle, the card game, right? So you're gonna have to play through an Uno campaign, battling off other Uno players, going through gyms and everything else. I don't know why gyms, because that's now Pokemon, but still, you're going to be playing Uno, and you're going to have a campaign of it. Okay?
Oh Jesus!
I'm quite a digging this, Davey, because Uno's fun. And then you get bored of Uno.
The first game of Uno is fun. After
that's it.
Yeah.
So what's different with this campaign?
So you're going to be unlocking cards as you go through.
I'm in. Unlocked.
You're going to be unlocking cards as you go through. You're still going to be battling each other, weirdly. It's going to be whoever becomes the best Uno player in the world. It's going to be the world tour, all right? And you're also going to have like Uno reverse cards that come out, but they're going to completely change the game. Like little rule cards that come out, so kind of like Flux, but better. I don't know how you do that, but
I don't know why, but I'm getting like Balatro vibes.
Yeah. Well, the poker-esque spin.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good game then. I've made a good. It's driving.
It's a roguelike.
I really want to hate this idea, but it's actually quite good.
If you think about it, right? You think about the different Uno variations you've got. No, you've got standard Uno. Everyone's played standard Uno. You've got Uno flip, where you actually flip the cards around.
That's it. Yeah.
That could be like a variant in the campaign.
There you go.
And you got the different flavors of Uno being injected.
It's a little box inside, like a Hogwarts Battle, where you have the little boxes that you open. It's that campaign 2.
I would buy that. I think that's a really good idea. So who does it? Mattel, is it?
Mattel, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Mattel.
There you go.
Get on with it.
If you want the Uno Battle World Tour,
HD edition.
Hit me up. So, do you think this is going to be roadworthy? This is the question.
I'm down.
We're driving it off the forecourt. We're actually.
I like Uno. Yeah, I think it'd be all right. It'd be good fun.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see the
randomness
of it.
Tim Westwood's seal of approval.
Harry Potter, you have your little Uno shop when you come to the pot buying your cards. You have these special Uno cards, so you can just
make
your deck bigger and better.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. If you can come up with that, it sounds.
Well, I don't know if you want to make your deck bigger in Uno because you're trying to get rid of
the cards.
Of course you are.
Yeah, but that could be maybe the toss-up. So you might need this card, so that it means you can get rid of more cards later, right?
It's layered. It's already getting layered.
Yeah. So you skip your turn to buy a card from the shop instead.
It's going to be a campaign Uno coming out now.
There we go. That's mine. Has anyone else got any Citron Saxos they want to soup up?
You've kind of set the bar quite high with that one because actually it ridiculously carries merit. Everyone's really excited for this.
It shouldn't work.
No, it shouldn't do, but it does.
Yeah.
So I'll go because I was thinking more lightweight. I associate lightweight with family games that I can play, with everyone. So I've kind of gone for Cluedo.
Okay, yeah.
With a hidden player element.
Oh, nice.
Where the actual murderer is trying to get away with it.
So one of you is the murderer.
One of you is the murderer. So you're laying fake clues for the others to find, but there's a little bit like Dead of Winter in that there's a chance the murderer might be in the room. There's a chance that they might not be. So add it a bit of spice and a bit of flavour. So you're going around and potentially switching cards around.
Whodot.
Yeah, like a whodunit Cluedo. That's fantastic. That's where kind of my mind went to because I know this isn't going to go down well, but I quite like Cluedo. I quite like playing it with the family. It's always fun. No, but it's a gateway game, isn't it? Yeah, and that naturally
back in the day
that naturally gets looked down upon by the board gaming community. but yeah, so for me, something like that, something like because I was thinking mansions, but mansions is a little bit dark potentially for some of the family stuff. So yeah, something like somebody trying to manipulate clues and trying to get away with it. I think that'd be quite cool.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I think this drives off the forecourt as well. I think. Well, not really forecourt. This drives
Is it
off
past the MOT?
It has passed the MOT. Yeah, it's got the Davies Chop Shop stamp of approval. Kudo is through.
Amazing.
Nice.
There we go. Who's next?
Who's next? Right, I've got a lightweight game, and JP relates to he's only played it once. And I think you guys never played it, right? So it's Dog Park.
Yeah. Carry on.
So, and this one, when it comes to when you're a dog owner, the biggest responsibility you normally have when you're walking a dog is picking up poo.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And you need poo bags.
Yeah.
So I believe when we do the third step in it and you're walking through the park, I think every time you move, we should have a poo dice.
Okay.
And then you roll this dice, and if you hit the poo, they poo. And you have these little tokens, you have different colour for your dogs, and you put it on the board. And then you've got to get some poo bag mechanic into it. So if you don't pick up your poo by the end of the next turn, you're going to get negative VPs.
What happens if you get like a really weak poo bag that you could potentially put your hand through?
Or
Get shitty fingers, Rob.
what happens when the poo is liquid and you just can't, and it's on pavement, and you're nowhere near a power washer?
So you just lose the points. There's like a little on the dice. It's just a liquid feces symbol.
I'm sure there could be paths in parks, couldn't there? Because this is dog park, so you generally
there's a path.
That is the worst case scenario, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've all
fine.
been there with
I
dog
mean,
owners.
it sounds like a good mechanic, right?
Yeah.
It's grounded to reality of the game it's set in, and it's kind of from your own experience, right?
I want to know what you'd call the expansion that you're adding in. Have you thought about that?
No, I haven't thought about it.
Because I don't think calling it the shit expansion is probably going to fly from the
Sticks like
Although
shit,
to be
yeah.
fair, that would get attention.
Yeah. There you go.
Was it the poo's up expansion?
the poo bag.
Pick up your poo.
Pick up your
Pick
poo.
up your poo expansion.
Yeah, maybe
Or-
the poo.
Or bagged.
The poo
Bag
experience.
'em and tag 'em.
Yeah, there we go. See, that's a good one.
If you run out of poo bags and you've got to leave the poo, and then you get negative VPs for leaving it on the floor.
Because you end up on the
Yeah,
Facebook market, Facebook group for your village.
That's it.
And you get slandered.
Yeah.
That's what will happen. Have you seen this man who's not picked up the poo?
Yeah.
And that's it. And you're forced to go back out and get it after dark
In front of everyone.
in front of everyone. And too right. Too right.
You could always make the dice shape like a bit like a poo as well, couldn't you? You could just go really into it.
You could.
You could, yeah.
But ananyway, that's I thought that'd be quite good fun. I say fun. Yeah, it's fun.
I think we've had a
People might
strong
find that
start,
fun.
actually.
Yeah, stronger than I imagined, to be honest.
Yeah, this is a strong start. It sounds like quite a good little addition to the game.
You didn't know how this episode was going to go, did you?
No.
You was like, this is the idea. Okay, let's see what happens.
That is probably my only fun one, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm enjoying myself. That's the main thing.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, my one is Cubitos.
Okay.
I like Cubitos. Cubitos is fun. It's fun for the family. It's fun for everyone. What's missing in Cubitos is player interaction. What's missing is a Mario Kart-esque vibe to Cubitos, where you're getting your dice, you're rolling them, but this time you're blocking players. Because in Cubitos, you share spaces. Boring. You want to block players. You want to fire missiles at them. You want to slow them down. It's like a race that should have a bit more spice to it, you know? Because sometimes you get a good little combo and you get lucky and you suddenly ran 10 spaces ahead. Now we want to just blue shell them, you know? Blue shell them, bring them to their knees and just have that whole kind of, I wouldn't say negative player interaction, although it probably might be.
Depends.
It kind of is, but it works in this situation,
But
right?
it's like-
a lighter game.
Yeah. But it's Mario Kart themed.
Drop the
kind of.
banana skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice one for the kids. Wouldn't
Yeah.
it? So a banana skin.
What
dice
would
set.
work is when you hit a space, you have the little dice that you roll that have like a weapon on it, like Mario Kart. 'Cause it's like, you roll the dice and then it gives you that little weapon that
There
you
you
can
go.
use. That's quite cool.
And you've got that, and that's what you've got. And you're like, right, I'm saving that when they're going up that straight, and like you're going to have that later.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
no, so do you hang back? Do you go forward? I think because in Cubitos, you just go in hell for leather as best as you can, but what you can roll, right? So it can just feel sometimes you can just look out, and I think that might help some of the players at the back. And maybe just like Mario Kart, if you're at the back, you get the strong stuff, right? You get the real nasty weapons. So maybe it's a different die. if you're in the back position, you get that die. If you're at the front, you get the niff-naff.
Yeah, well, it kind of works that way, right? Yeah. And you could give them negative dice as a shot maybe sometimes. You could use it so you could give them a die which when they roll themselves, nothing could happen.
Yeah.
But it could also have a negative thing on it. Yeah.
So when the expansion came out, which is called Foul Play, I thought that's what they were doing. And then when I kind of read the design diaries on it and I looked at it, I was like, there's a little disappointment about it. But
because Foul Play sounds like it's going to be
a bit knobby.
Yeah, a bit aggressive.
Yeah. And I think that's the kind of game that could weather it really well and actually make it just that. It's that Thunder Road Vendetta feeling, which is we're all going to be getting screwed here, but it's a bit of a laugh. Don't take it seriously.
Yeah, it's that kind of game anyway. Yeah. You go in and you already know that it's going to be... You're rolling dice as a race. Of course it's going to be a bit, hit and miss.
It's just a bit too nice, I think. As a game. It's a bit too... But I get why it is. But I just want to make it like heavy metal version. Just damn it. But there we go. That's mine. Yeah, Citron Saxo.
Cubitos El Furiosa. Right?
El Furiosa.
Yeah. Cool. That's our Citron Saxos all driven off. They've all made it off of the ramp. And it looks like they're all driving off into the distance, into the sunset. So we haven't had any broken down. From our point of view, anyway. As soon as they're over the hill, who knows? They might be blowing up. And
out of sight, out of mind.
Not going any further,
I think they're already better than we kind of thought they were going to be.
So we're going to move on to our midweight. So it's going to be the BMW M series is what I've called it. So for our midweight games, shall I start?
Yeah, do it.
Shall I unveil? I'll pull the cloth off of my car, and I'm showing you it's brass Birmingham with a little bit of Ticket to Ride in it. Oh, so you have to play the cards to get your areas. So now you actually have to collect sets to get your things down at the same time, right? So you're going to have to be taking cards from each other and collecting sets that you see as an extra action to also then build on your road. So it's going to add a little bit of knobbery in there as well.
Just what it needs.
But yeah.
Beer is the knobbery. Stealing beer off players is the knobbery.
But it's got even more player interaction. So the game's going to be a little bit longer because it's obviously you're going to have to build sets now. So it's probably going to add like another 2 hours to the game. But I think it could work, right? I think it could. That whole set collection is going to add a little bit more player interaction. It works in the train theme because you're doing the set collection with the Ticket to Ride. You're going to have to add more cards in, bigger hands. You're going to maybe have to play so that you kind of know what cards some other people will have, or when they're drawing them, it's like face up so you can see, kind of have some information of what other people have got. But maybe it could work. This one's, I don't know. It probably looks shiny on the outside, but it's probably not going to go any further than 2 feet as soon as it drives off. But that's my midweight kind of
Bonanza.
Frankenstein's monster.
The theme matches. I like it.
Yeah,
it works. I like it
thematically.
Yeah. Ticket to Birmingham, we'll call it, right?
Ticket to Birmingham.
Ticket to Birmingham. Or
really bad accents.
Or brass to ride, but I don't know if that sounds a bit...
I like it.
Take the B and the R off and it's a little bit risky, isn't it?
I think it's fine.
Yeah, there we go. So who wants to go next with their unveil their fine motor?
I can go next. I'm quite happy to go next.
Yeah,
this is the one I'm feeling strongly about. So...
No pressure.
No. So there's a game that I should love it. I should love everything about this game, but for some reason it just doesn't click, and that's Dune Imperium. I love Dune. I've listened to the books. I'm thoroughly into the world. I think it's fantastic. It's right up there with my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. But for some reason, Dune Imperium it just doesn't click with me. So I'm thinking the world of Dune is about. It's about these houses, it's about these rulers, it's about, how this very political Game of Thrones. A Dune version of Game of Thrones, I think would, almost like a combative deck building game I think it'd be fantastic. I think it'd be really, really good and more what I'd be looking for from that genre just because it's a space opera. It's Game of Thrones in space.
Yeah.
They kind of go together
So
very well.
keep the deck building, keep the area control and the combat aside, get rid of the worker placement,
Yes.
and then just have a
map.
The token turning, is it? Just like you do in Game of Thrones, is it?
Yeah. So that whole
Hidden token and then
but have more of a deck building element that can kind of allow you to do a bit more than just kind of flip tokens. That'd be my idea.
Yeah, I'd play that.
I don't know why there aren't more Dune games because
There's a few because you got War of Arrakis or War for Arrakis, which is like your War for the Ring, 1v1, 2v2, but that's more like zoomed in, not skirmish, but it's that zoomed in, dudes fighting kind of vibe. You've got the original Dune,
which I enjoyed, but
it's
it's finicky.
old. It's old.
Sorry. And it's got some like old mechanics in, like with the people joining up, and like people went full meta with that game, and there's like stats on who wins best with other factions, etc., which ruins the game in my eyes. But yeah.
So there's a few out there, but I like where you're going with it, Rob. I think you're right.
I like Dune Imperium. I don't love it, but I should love it because it's right up my street. But yeah, so that element of, because there's a lot of backstabbing in that universe. There's a lot of power plays. There's a lot of, rulers just trying to one up themselves. There's a lot of grudges. So I think, that kind of Game of Thrones mechanic where you are trying to, progress your position by getting other people to, lose and kind of fail. I think it would suit it really well.
It could be played over a long period of time, so that you've got different houses being in control of Dune and the spice refineries and all of that stuff, and then the other houses trying to vie for control, which is pretty much what they've been doing, isn't it? You've got the Harkonnens who originally there, and the Atreides come in, and da-da-da-da-da. So you could kind of just have that. So it's not like it's played over a 6-month period. It's like 100 years, 200 years. So you're kind of simulating that over time.
And you could do it via planets as the areas as
you
well.
could have your own planets of your house.
Oh, yeah.
And then put Dune in the middle
Yeah.
as the big desert planet. And then you can send ships. And then,
but then you could also try and take other people's planets as well. Because
I quite like the economy, though, in Dune, because this probably goes back to the original board game, isn't it? So there's like a nice, like the spice must flow because someone needs to run those refineries because, everything stops. You can't do space travel if you don't harvest that spice. And I think there's something kind of cool in that. Like, so someone's got to run it.
You'd all have to work together, but begrudgingly,
but you want to be the one that's doing it
to the point where then you can take over. It'd be a timing mechanic.
So that could be like the barrels in Game of Thrones, right? That could be a spice as to how big your fleet is, or
supply,
how how far you travel is that supply, which can change. And rather than have like the wall with the White Walkers, what do they call
the
it?
wildlings?
The wildlings influencing everything. You could maybe have it so that the Fremen aren't actually playable because they're already on Dune, but they're the people they're the events that come out because they destroy sabotaging and pushing that forward instead.
I'm down.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's got further than my car.
Wow.
Yeah. So, moving on. Who wants to reveal theirs next?
Okay, I'll have a go. As we've been talking, this is not what I've written down. I'm just going to wing it now.
Oh, he's gone off script.
He's gone off script.
I haven't thought about it. So what if we did like a game like Caverna, worker placement, but we have a Twilight Imperium tile placement mechanic at the beginning. So you're kind of building your own worker placement board. So you probably have to do as game designers have your own stacks A, B, C, and D between the players. Those are the tiles you choose from. But you only choose like 4 out of the 7 tiles. So you kind of you don't know what people put one tile of worker placement down for a spot where your workers can go to get the resources. And then just build it off that. And then like Caverna at the end, you have hidden ones at the end. You put one hidden down at the end. You don't know what's going to be. Well, you know the one you're turning that's going to turn up. You don't know what the other people's are going to turn up.
So it's kind of building on the only mechanic I like from Lords of Waterdeep, which is the shops that come out, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So you could you mix that with the Caverna style, but you'll be making your tableau, but it's for everyone to use, right?
Yeah, exactly. So everyone, so you just build your own kind of game board. I know it'd be probably possible to balance, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that, right? Yeah. And then maybe everyone, like, because Caverna doesn't have one, will have an asymmetric ability, which could boost cool things. So I think Lords of Waterdeep are actually missing that, and Caverna, you could do that.
So this is where this kind of episode is like Pimp My Ride, because these games don't need to get any further than the show. Like the cars. Yeah. They don't need to get any further than the show. They don't actually have to drive out on the road. We're fine, right?
Once the episode's over, we're done.
Yeah. But it sounds cool.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Yeah, because you're right. Like Caverna has that. It's like variable worker placement spots that come out, but they are sequenced in stages, aren't they? So you've got like stage
exactly
one,
what's coming up, but it could be
you
just
know
different
that
order.
the first era, you've got those. I think it's 4 cards or whatever, and you know what they are. You just don't know the order they come out. So what you're saying is scrap that, but this time you're seeding it more yourself.
Yes.
To what you need for your strategy based on what you're selecting. So you're not having full control, but this is what you've got. Okay, we'll put that in there.
And it could just be manic as well, because you don't know what other people are placing.
Could be this completely broken worker placement.
I think that might be interesting, though. You could do it where, you at the start,
Love it.
as the first round, maybe you pick up 2, pick 1, put it down. Next person player does that. That's your board.
Yeah.
You then do your worker placement stuff, and then round 2, you draw another 2, maybe level 2 ones, and you put those down, and then that board's completely different again, and then you work off it in that way.
Weirdly, this is reminding me of a game I've pre-ordered, which is it's an 18xx game, which is it's not actually a train one, which most 18xx games are. It's the what's it called?
Stock market one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's on the shoulder of big giants or something like that, Chicago, and that has the similar thing is that you put tiles out and you're picking tiles for worker placement spots for people to use, which I thought was quite cool. So it's the same sort of thing, right? It's I'm choosing what goes in there. That might be good for me. It's probably going to be good for other people, but hopefully it's just the good, the best for me. So I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then you can combine it with, you've got your own little board to do things, but that's then the player board for everyone for that.
That's it.
That's your... sounds interesting. I like him.
Like it.
There we go.
Okay.
Tambo's put a massive engine in his and it shoots off.
But he can't turn a corner.
It's a bit manic. You don't know where you go and go.
It's like a dragster. So I'm going to pick on Fury of Dracula for this. Right. So Fury of Dracula is a game that I tend to look forward to playing. And I get down to it and I think, thematic, get the music on, do this, do that. And then 5 hours later, you're like, is this over yet? Like, and sometimes when you're the hunter, it can be a bit.
You do one thing and then wait.
Yeah, you end up going, I'm in Budapest or whatever, and Drac appears in Ireland, and you're like, I'm so far away. What do? I move and I sleep, and then I move and I sleep, and all that kind of stuff. So I like the idea of Fury of Dracula, and I think when you're Dracula, it's great. Like, because you're like, it's tense and you're hiding. Like, don't find me. But as hunters, I find it a bit lackluster. So my whole mechanic switch in this is the hunters can be converted. They can be turned into vampires. And so starting off where you've got all the hunters, they're maybe we not re-theme it, but we reset the story a little bit. So they're not these hunters that can quickly get armed to the teeth and become very, very powerful quickly, which is what happens in the game. There's maybe a bit of a slower burn to get them leveled up, and also helping to encourage people to stick a bit together to help. But yeah, maybe if you can kind of get a hunter on their own, you can turn them to your side and actually get them into a vampire, and then their board flips over and they've got little vampiric abilities that help. And obviously there's a balance issue here, which is if you get too many, maybe it's impossible. So it might be that.
Well, if you convert 2 hunters, you win, right?
Yeah, you could do it as a
Dracula wins.
Yeah, like a win mechanic, or you kind of make like the hunters get more resolve. Maybe like they just get more faith or something that they can kind of buff up, so it levels the playing field. To me, then it kind of gives. There's a bit of a threat on a hunter, because I always find the hunters will usually win most of the time in Fury of Dracula. In my experience, that's probably because maybe None of us are that great at Dracula. And I'm including me because I'm awful at it. I always get killed in Ireland. Always. Don't know why I go there, but I end up in Ireland and I get staked. But this way, something can happen mid-game, late game. It can happen any time. And it's like, okay, I'm turned now. And off we go. And it just adds that little like dickery element as well. And why not?
Why not? Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think that's make it quite hard to turn the vampire, wouldn't you? You have to make it quite hard for Dracula.
Oh, yeah. It couldn't be like, I'll turn up and go, you done.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be like a one little fight.
No.
Make something in there to make it hard.
Yeah, there'll have to be some way of doing it that's that Drac would have to
Bite him 3 times or something? Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got to bite
Maybe adding little encampments that Dracula has around the map that the hunters can interact with and fight as well, that then give them some kind of buff or give them something to do at least, so that if Dracula is fighting someone on the other side, you can be going over here and getting items or doing something else. You know?
I think you could do like a beast thing. You could make sure Dracula has minions, but I don't know. He does kind of have minions in the car hidden, but
he does, yeah.
But you could spawn more on the map, maybe. And So the hunters have got more to do as well, dealing with fighting, and then be a bit more fun.
So, but I do like the sound of converting someone as well.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
That person, they're not out of the game.
No.
They can still win with the other person, right?
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah, because I always find in that game, Dracula has a great story to tell, and maybe 1 or 2 hunters have a great story to tell. And then the others are like, I just kind of tagged along. And that's usually what I feel like. And I've been on both sides of that. I've had a great games of Drac, and I've had games where I've gone, that was 4 hours of me just roaming Europe, not doing a lot, riding trains back and forth. And just think
that's actually really true of that game.
It's great if you like trains.
Yeah, but you know, it's just like there's something extra that's needed.
Both games I played on Dracula was like that, and that's why I don't know. That's why I've never signed up for it again, because like both games I played, I think you were Dracula and then Curly was Dracula, and both times the fight was happening the other side of where I was, and I was just like bored.
Yeah, last time I played with Stuart as Dracula, and I'm the only one who was fighting him, and it was good fun for me.
Yeah.
The other guys were just kind of watching it and just like, I think I fought about 3 times.
Everyone needs to be engaged in that game because it is a long game, and it's not a problem that it's long, but the problem is if it's not, you're not as engaged in the story or not engaged in the game. It's just
for me, I think Beast is the better hidden movement game because of that, because it involves everyone hunter-wise.
We had this similar conversation about a video game that came out a long time ago about the hunters.
Oh, Evolve.
I love Evolve. So at the beginning of the game, the hunters are really strong, but the beast is really, really weak, and they evolve over that time. So we were talking about this at the Devon Board Game weekend, ironically, that if you had NPCs, the only way you can get stronger is either to hunt NPC vampires or hunt people to level up, regardless of where you are on the map. It keeps people engaged, and it's a way of kind of scaling at a similar place.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that, where you are a vampire hunter, you just haven't come across Dracula yet. You know, you're still hunting, you're still powering up that way. And if you're Dracula, you're like just nipping round.
Yeah.
You know, feeding.
I'm in Prague. I'm just going to have a little feed. And I'm going to,
Yeah, and you go to certain places to level up certain things, something like that. I think that would be quite
by doing that, you then reveal kind of where Dracula is, but he's got stronger from doing it. And that's what Beast does with the little things around the map that you have to feed on. Yeah. And then, but you show yourself when you do it, because you're attacking and you're feeding.
Tactically, is like, I don't mind showing myself because I know you're not that close.
And I'm getting something out of it.
And I'm like, damn it, he's in Prague and he's leveled up. Oh, what a pain. You know, so yeah, I think it just keeps that. There's something to do. There's something going on.
So you know, you might have one encounter with Dracula, but you've fought so many minions and you've done so many other hunts that you're more, you know, it's more balanced.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good.
So, you know, that one encounter is an epic encounter, whereas, you know, you're just not getting smashed around with it.
Final showdown.
Yeah.
Dracula the Feast.
The Feast of Dracula.
The Feast of Dracula. Yes, there we go. So cool. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Some I think that one shoots off the lot as well. And mine only got a couple of feet.
Oh.
So we're going to finish off with the high-end sports cars, which a lot of them for show, but Lamborghinis. So for this one, which is our heavy games, I've kind of gone for a very strange mix, but I think it could work. So with Barrage, when you play Barrage, I love it. It's very mean, but sometimes someone can screw you over, and something you've been leading up to this turn, it's in the dirt now. You can't do it, right? So if we mix it with anachrony, Fractures of Time, so that you can rewind certain things that happen. So now we've got sci-fi dams, where you've missed the waterfall. Oh, I'm going to rewind time and maybe move this dam over here, or I'm going to make it so the water fell over here instead. And we could put a little, there's going to be repercussions from you doing this, messing with time, of course. But suddenly it doesn't feel so bad when these actions happen. And obviously we'll need balancing. It will need the kind of like a corruption, or not corruption, but fractures mechanic, right? So that if you keep messing with time, you're going to get screwed. All your dams are going to burst, and you're going to be left on the floor naked and crying. Which, let's face it, if you lose at Barrage, you feel like that's anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it'll be an interesting mix. It will negate the downside of Barrage that most people don't like about it. Is it's not really a catch-up mechanic, because it'll be more of you've actively planned to do something. It's still got that Euro theme, and that's what Fractures kind of does quite well, I think, is you teleport about. It gives you extra spaces to go on to. Yeah. It opens up the game a lot more.
Yeah.
Which maybe Barrage doesn't need, because it's so tight, and that's what makes it good. But also it might open up the game to other people who don't like the game because it is so tight. Yeah. So that it'll get to the table a lot more.
Yeah.
So
I would say instead of like time, you could say it's like they've invented portal technology, which allows you to kind of manipulate water flow through unnatural ways, i.e. you just basically get the two portal gun the water then comes to where you need it. But you say, there's a penalty. If you did it all the time, it wouldn't matter where you build your dams, would it? But
no, exactly.
There's got to be a risk reward, or there's got to be something. So if you do it too much, but at least it gets you out of a bind for that particular moment, or at least produce enough energy to fulfill your contract that you would literally plan to do, and then someone's just knobbed you.
Yeah, because you sometimes spend all game building up this real cool ecosystem of where your dam is, everything is water, and someone just went, one dam there. You're like, oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, my whole game's fallen apart. Whereas at least now you could be like, oh, no, I'm going to quickly revert and drop some water down over here, or like, have something that basically can reverse time or negate the negatives of that game. So, that's my outcome is my monster truck with like little waterfalls coming from the back with little water features, which are somehow running upwards.
Hey, whatever. It's your chop shop, mate.
Yeah, there you go. It's driving around with a hot tub on the back, right?
Nice.
All the ladies in there playing Barrage. That's my one Westwood comment.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Right. How about you, Tambo?
Okay, so my heaviest game, I know some people don't think it's that heavy, but I'm going to go with Terraforming Mars, okay? So we're going to put that on the table, and then we're going to take out the production phase.
Oh.
And then we're going to throw in, what's the card game version? The Terraforming Ares? I can't remember.
Ares Expedition.
Ares Expeditions, right? So they're card mechanic, where you flip them, and you tell them they're going to do the production. Everyone chooses what they're going to do.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And we're going to put that into Terraforming Mars.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it could be getting a little bit spicy, I think.
Yeah.
So take out the production, and then we put that in. But we'll have to put a colonies one in there as well, because you want to move your colonies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I reckon that could be make it quite speedy.
Yeah. Well, I think it might end up taking longer if you had the whole game, right? All those cards of those, then choosing actions to play them.
Yeah, that's right. Because whenever you play, you choose.
That's fine.
Yeah, you either play a blue card, or you play a green card, or you do production phase, or I can't remember the other. I'm trying to think of the last one.
Science.
Blue. move, yeah. And then it gets you to do all the trees and spend all your plants and stuff, I believe. Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played it.
Yeah, you've got the green, which is your production. You've got red and blue, I think, which is your like science stuff, along with event.
That's events, yes, as well, yeah.
Yeah. And then one which does production, which is another card, and one that I can't even remember the others.
Yeah, I
Played it once.
Maybe, yeah.
It's good. I really enjoy it, but this doesn't.
Just put it into the bigger game, see how it works. Just do it. So I'll get my card and just throw it in and see if it works. And then maybe even I know there's lots of points in Terraforming in it, but maybe just have like your own personal objective card for your thing. So you got bonus points at the end. So when someone's running away with it, you go, "Actually, I got this 20 VB because I just done my personal objective."
I wonder if you could throw it in there as a laugh and just see if it works anyway. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, just throw those cards in and see if it actually works. Take out the production phase. Just take it out. See, the only way you're going to do production is if someone puts it down on the table.
Yeah, the game would take forever, wouldn't it? We're on generation 75.
Would it take forever? Because someone might smash out production really fast and you might get a good engine.
Get a busted combo and then
it could be.
quickly pushed it all down. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that the game's reliant upon you in its current form, of course, that you'd produce every generation, isn't it? Because that's just what you do. So all of the costs of the cards and everything has probably been factored in to the fact you're going to get a generation of income.
Yeah, you still do. Well, yeah. But you still do your drafting phase as well. So you still have to buy your cards.
This is like hardcore mode.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, just what I thought. Yeah. Oh no, that's
fair enough.
Let's try it. That's what I can come up with.
Yeah, Tambo's pulled his car out and it's got no wheels.
It just fell to pieces. It just did not work. But if it did work, it would be awesome.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. I want to give it a go.
Laugh.
It's a concept car.
It's a
concept car.
Yeah. It's the Cybertruck. Oh no, wait, that got built for some strange reason.
So I've been undecided on this, and because what I call a heavy game, a lot of you don't.
Okay,
but there's a game.
Okay.
But there's a game.
It's not the weight of it. Physical weight.
Yes, but I went physical weight. I thought if I can't go complexity weight, I'm going physical weight, right? And there's one mechanic that really annoys me in this game to the point where it makes no sense, and that'd be Frosthaven.
Okay.
Why would you use your axe once in a turn? It's an axe. It's designed to be used over and over again. That's kind of the point, right? So yeah, the fact that you lost cards that you could only use a card once, you could only use an ability once. I didn't like that. That's the only thing. I love the storytelling. I didn't like setting it up and packing it away.
No one does.
No one does.
No one does. But I'm thinking if I could make one change to that game, it would be add the deck building mechanic of The Witcher. Make the enemies harder, but the deck building capability better, where colors go into colors, where where you chain attacks, so that I don't really want to lose cards, but at the same time, it's about this isn't a great card, but if I pair it with this card, they become quite strong. And that mechanic of kind of building your attacks up, so as you level up, being able to do more and more with your weapons, with your character, and maybe chuck in some D&D elements of character building, with that kind of leveling up and having multiple options as to how you want to take. So less characters, but more options with those characters, and the deck building element of The Witcher. Oh, that'd be incredible.
You know what you could do? You could mix it, put Descent into Frosthaven and do that with the app. Does all the hard work for you.
Yeah, which is what the app was supposed to do, but never really did.
Yeah, but do a Descent app, so you've got your characters.
Yeah.
Got the whole point, and you build a map where it tells you, and then you still have your card combo, but not the energy changing we do in Descent, isn't that? I can't remember what the name of it is.
The energy, the exhaustion.
The exhaustion, yeah. So doing that, you have your card mechanics, and there's all the whole story of Frosthaven on it.
Yeah, because I think I should love Frosthaven. I should absolutely love that game, but the losing of cards drives me a bit mad. Like, I've used an axe twice. It's an axe. It's designed to be used.
Timer.
Yeah, which I get is part of the complexity of the game, but it just annoys me.
Turns the game into a puzzle.
Yes.
Which is, how do I efficiently get through this dungeon before the
it
time
turns
runs
into
out?
a Euro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, if it's more That, the complexity and the hardness, the complexity and the difficulty, is fun, but some of them just felt impossible. And, if somebody wanted to go off and do something a little bit different, like if somebody wanted to cross the room to get a chest, it just felt like a betrayal just because it was that tight. Whereas, I want to have a bit of fun with it as well. And not just the fun that, that was an experience and we got through it. So, for me, like a kind of like a deck chaining element rather than a deck building element, I think for me would revolutionize that game in my eyes. I get why people love it, but yeah. So
there you go. Rob's turned up in a truck, a big, long 18-wheeler. There we go.
Carrying
Rocking
your
out.
ass. Carrying your car that made it 5 feet.
That's fair.
There we go. So, last but not least, JP suddenly whizzes around the corner in a Top Gear style way. Out gets JP McClarkson.
Don't forget me.
And shows us his car.
I do. So, there's something missing in the board game hobby space. And it's been tried to be filled by a number of games. So these games are Dinosaur Island, Dinogenics, and I can't say Tiny Epic Dino. I've never played it. Okay. So I'm not going to say that.
That's fine.
Each one tries to do what I think people want from a dinosaur park type game and doesn't quite get there, in my opinion. It's my opinion. Don't worry. So I'm thinking, because they're not heavy games by their own right, but pull all the bits together and think back to PC gaming and Theme Park came out. Mm-hmm. If you remember Theme Park.
Yeah.
Where you're literally paving the paths right from the entrance. You're putting in burger shops. You're actually determining how much like salt you're putting on your chips so that actually your guests get thirsty and they want more drinks. Mm-hmm. You're checking the happiness of your guests. You're getting dinosaurs in, doing all that DNA splicey stuff. All for that. You need a farm. You need a farm to keep the dinosaurs fed. So there's like a mini farming element to the game. So the whole economy that you're going to manage in your park. You get revenue. You've got costs. So it's a business, and it's like Lacerda level heaviness.
I don't know where this is going, but I'm excited.
And just fuse all of that together, and you have a dinosaur park sim. Mm-hmm. So it's like Zoo Tycoon, but with dinosaurs and just those little bits that you can kind of manipulate.
Yeah,
The crunch is like, this is like, this is really good. And you can obviously have all the bad shit that can happen. And
this could actually work if you did it like Ark Nova. Because you could have your board for your park.
You could, yes. Yeah.
And then you could put, it won't be like big things, but you could always put Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I kind of thought, instead of worker placement, let's not bother with worker. Let's get rid of worker placement. It's gone.
It's a shit tactic.
It's gone. It's old school. It's gone. And I want proper like action selection, either cards or multi-use purpose cards. I want it all to be kind of driven. I'm not saying use Ark Nova because that's just basically saying Ark Nova with dinosaurs, and I'm not saying that. But there's something missing in that space, and Dinogenics does what it does, and Dinosaur Island does what it does. So Dinosaur Island has a few like souvenir shops and things, but it's very basic, people come in and great, I get a bit of money. But yeah, just, I don't know, just this missing. It's missing, something missing.
You do a phase where your truck moves through your park and you get all your bonuses.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Didn't see you like phase 3.
You could do it like Lorenzo selection of like that's how you get your cards and then you play them into your park. Yeah. Or have like some kind of dice selection instead. So like a drafting mechanic that you then draft in and then play your cards out for your park. And that could be all your different competing parks trying to get the best dinosaur DNA genes, right? So you're all fighting against each other, trying to get the best genes, splice them together. Or you could also have cards that all have different abilities on that you splice together and then and then you play them all at once and it all does a different thing.
Yeah.
And that's your spliced dinosaur, right?
Yeah.
And then you could have things go down, and instead of tracking the actual physical, that dinosaur's broken that fence, I'm gonna have to repair that fence. You're just watching like your stock market price plummet. You're like, oh no, we're 20% down because some kid fell off a stegosaurus. You're like, oh no.
As the T-Rex is literally romping around your park and going, oh my God. Because that's the thing in these games. They've escaped. And it's just this generic, it's escaped, it's bad, you've got negative VPs. I want to see the T-Rex leave its paddock and go, oh my God, it's heading towards the children's playground. It's that if it goes there, we're in real trouble. And it's like, what can you do?
And that could be a strategy to like strategically eat certain customers at certain times of the year to drum up business, because is it all publicity is good publicity, right?
Such thing as bad pub,
Well, you could also have it so that the other parks have to do something about it. Otherwise, no one's going to see your T-Rex in your park because everyone's scared because they heard about a T-Rex escaping someone else's park. So now the other parks have to try and help you to get rid of that T-Rex, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, no one wants to go see the T-Rex anymore.
Yeah.
Because they heard about the other park.
Yeah, your visitors are now got lower because they're like, nah, dinosaur like parks are really dangerous places.
That dinosaur, like the Jaws effect when that came out on sharks, all sharks are terrible, sort of thing.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Heavy economic dinosaur park management simulator. Lacerda level.
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
Definitely.
JP's turned up in his £1 million kit car that he's made himself in his backyard.
The back panel's made of cardboard, but the front is carbon fibre.
You know the irony here? It's like I've described probably Curly's ideal favourite game.
Oh yeah,
until
absolutely.
I said
Yeah, I was going to say, until you said Lacerda, yeah.
And I'm out. Sorry, Curly.
But it's really good. So he's really, really torn.
Yeah.
So that's been Davey's Chop Shop. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed seeing our display of fine mechanics. So moving now on to Receive, Leave or Sleeve, where we ask you the important questions. Well, we ask each other the important questions, right? I'm going to do a little dungeon crawler special, and one of them you guys probably haven't played, but I still think I can get a good opinion from you guys. So, would you receive, sleeve, or leave Darkest Dungeon, Primal the Awakening, and the very last one, Gloomhaven? Go on then, Rob, over to you.
I would leave Gloomhaven.
Yep.
Not because it's a bad game, but we had our time with it. 2 years of playing that game. And like I said, if we change the mechanics of the card things a little bit, that might change it for me. But as it stands at the moment,
Gloomhaven's going to be, Rob, come back. Call me.
I will, I promise. I will. I would keep Darkest Dungeon.
Nice.
Just because you've talked about it.
Yeah, I've still brought it to the table, but yeah.
You've talked about it, and the video game it's
great.
Very hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Very, very difficult.
There's
very
suddenly
hard.
a swing in it when suddenly your squad's amazing and everything's really easy, but up until that point, it's hard.
Yeah. So I'd keep that, and I would sleeve, and I would actually do this in real life, which is a lot coming from me, is Primal. I would happily keep that game forever.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely phenomenal, and I love it.
Yeah, I do love it.
Okay, I'm going to do exactly what Rob's just said. Exactly what I was going to say.
Is it exactly the same?
Leave Gloomhaven. Been there, done that. Solved it. Yeah. Then I would receive Primal. And then sleeve. No,
yours is different.
No.
Already?
Sorry, no. I get confused. No, I would.
Sleeve Primal.
Yeah, and then receive Darkest Dungeon.
Okay, there we go. How about you, JP?
Definitely leave Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Because I already have. Mm-hmm. Slight history lesson. The other two I haven't played. So it's kind of like, do I want a boss battler?
Yeah.
Or do I want a roguelike dungeon crawlery experience? I would say dare to be different. I'll sleeve Darkest Dungeon.
Yep.
Even though I never played it, so that's always a risk. But I'll receive the other one because either way, I get to play them both.
Yeah. That's why you need the extra protection though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's always a risk.
You never know. And whilst Darkest Dungeon it's probably more rarer, I would say.
It is, yeah. It's going to be like gold dust.
Like gold, exactly. So protect the hell out of that, because who knows? And I'll just play Primal and see what it's all about. And then I'll go, damn, I've made the wrong choice.
So good.
I've never played it.
There's not lots of sleeve though, Primal, is there?
Yeah, there's
Sleep
enough.
the minis.
There's your decks, which you will thumb through all the time, and your kind of weapon cards, which there's a lot of, but different sizes, awkward sleeves. I will probably go with the majority here. Maybe it wasn't a great one, but it's kind of we've all on the same page. So I will receive. No, in fact, I'll receive Primal because it's. In fact, I'll receive Primal just because I know how much it cost.
Yeah, that's a great gift.
Yeah, and that's a great gift.
Thank you.
And I'll sleeve Darkest Dungeon and I'll buy Darkest Dungeon. So I'll actually go with JP.
There you go.
Yeah, and Gloomhaven is gathering dust in the corner.
Yeah.
Bless it. But for its time, amazing game, right? Amazing game.
It's got a 2.0 edition coming out soon.
Yeah, because they realised they cocked up with Frosthaven because they put so much admin in the book.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to do some bookkeeping for an hour and then play the game? Not really, but I guess we have to, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what we've got coming up and what we're looking forward to. So I'm going to go first with this one. Pax Illuminatum has arrived. So I'm looking forward to playing that. I've read through the rules. It's how I remember it. Very puzzly / 4Xy for a little card game that's down. Area control along with some knobbiness with kind of taking your area control off other people. I got the mat, which is bigger, which is massive. The game's tiny, and I've got this big play mat, which is huge. And it's like, did I need this? But I'm sure it'll be good when I actually get it to the table because it's already lays out all the cards where they should go. It's got the old grid stuff, and it's got where all of the not factions, what are they called?
I forget what they call them.
Goods of S. Syndicates. Is it syndicates? No, I don't think it's syndicates. I don't know. Where all your factions are and everything else. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. I've also got a notification of Deep Regrets is kind of, they're starting to go through the factory and they're checking my address. So when that arrives, I'm really looking forward to playing that. And we've obviously got an episode where we spoke about both of them previously.
We did.
So if you want to listen to that, go listen to that. And also, on a whim, I'm going for 3 because why not? Feudum. Is it Feudum?
Yeah.
Feudum. I bought Feudum, and even though people said the rule, like the original, people said the rules were just awful, but they enjoy the game. Whereas with 2.0, apparently they've sorted the rules out, which still not actually seen, but apparently they've sorted the rules out, but it's kind of the same game. And the artwork on it, some people hate, but I really love this like whimsical kind of Adventure Time-esque, like high contrast colors world that they've put in. So I've got that game on the way as well. So all my Kickstarters will come at once, really, even though this is like 2 years ago, I probably ordered them.
It's usually what happens.
Yeah. So, and there was all different times. I think one I ordered a year ago, another one 2 years ago. And Roth.
Fuck. Oh, yeah, Roth's coming as well. Yeah.
I didn't realise you backed that until a few months ago.
Yeah. I forgot I've backed a load of these.
Look really good.
It's good fun.
Yeah, so that's going to be me. I'm going to be talking about those coming up.
Nice.
How about yourself, Tambo? What have you got coming up?
Nothing too much, mate. I've got my Terraforming Mars on Sunday.
Nice.
Up, yeah, with Curly and everyone playing the Prelude, I think it is.
We've got. Is it 6 players happening?
No, I think it's 5.
Is it 5 of us?
Yeah.
No, still, it's a healthy player.
I need my
count.
Terraforming Mars fix. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't had one for ages. So
Yeah, there we go.
yeah.
When you said fix, I thought it meant your new version of the game.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We're going to be there all day.
Yeah.
That should be fun. It's always good fun to blast that out.
Yeah.
Prelude 2 as well, so I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Whether we'll see the cards or
No,
not.
I think Curly's going to make it so we do see the cards.
That'd be
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because he did that with me when we first played it. And it works. You can do it.
See-
You just
see
make sure
the
you
deck.
you get the corporations. Well, you would get one of the corporations.
Well, it's just the start, isn't it? So it doesn't affect the rest of the game, right?
And we start with 2 of the cards each or something like that.
Yeah, cool.
In your first.
Because we played the other ones to death, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
Classic. It's like we're getting in one of the old classic cars is the Terraforming Mars. So it's old reliable.
Good old Ford Escort.
To tell we're not really car people.
No, at all. I couldn't care.
Or it's a Morris Minor.
Yeah. It's a Buick. Yeah. Who knows?
That's a Lotus Elise. There we go.
Cool. I've been doing a lot of kind of, YouTube watching for kind of new stuff that's coming out. And I've kind of picked up on a game that's done by Earthborn Games, who done Earthborn Rangers, if you're familiar with it. And they've got a new game that's very, very, very similar spiritual successor to Netrunner. And it's called Hub World Eidolon, something like that. And it's got that kind of, it's not asymmetric in the fact that you've got a runner and a corp. But it's a similar thing where you're interacting with the opponent, and you can kind of interact with their deck, their hand, and their discard pile, and you're trying to find agents, and it's got that kind of hidden aspects in the grid where you can have cards face down, but it does work differently, so it's not like it's just a clone, and it just looks interesting, and it's made me kind of look more into Earthborn Games as a publisher. And I played Earthborn Rangers with Paul Grogan. God, we just kind of did a random tutorial after a stream one night. He said, "You fancy playing this?" And I had a spare hour or two. I said, "Yeah, why not?" And I quite enjoyed it, actually. And it's just, Earthborn Rangers is this kind of whimsical, futuristic nature, kind of LCG vibe game. It's got very much Arkham Horror LCG tendencies, Lord of the Rings kind of feeling, but it's like an adventure that you go on.
I keep looking at this game.
I've pre-ordered it.
Have you pre-ordered it?
Yeah.
I keep looking at it.
I pre-ordered it because I fell down the trap of looking. And when you look and you go, "Oh, well, let's look at a video," and you look at another video, and I just encapsulate it by the artwork, because the artwork in both of these games done by the same person, same team. It's just fantastic. It's got like an anime style artwork to it.
It's kind of like minimalist in some aspect, right?
I don't know, just something about it. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I had a good time playing that. And this is a game where at the start of the game in Earthborn Rangers, you deliver biscuits. It's really weird. It's like, you've got to go and deliver biscuits to this town over there. And you're like, okay, I'm off to deliver biscuits. And
it's like Futurama meets Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And off you go. And it's got a big map. And, you can travel around. And it's open world. It's like a sandbox, but in a card game format. So wherever you kind of travel A to B, you can travel across the terrain, and it's like woods or swamp or whatever. And then you're kind of battling against obstacles, which might be, a thicket, or it might be some predators or whatever. And you're trying to do these little missions and stuff. It just looks cool. And I remember playing it thinking, this is quite impressive for what it is and what it's doing. So I thought, sod it, I'll give it a whirl. Even if I play it solo, I'll be happy. Just wandering around nature.
Oh, sign me up. I keep looking at it. I very nearly bought it and pre-ordered it the other day because it looks up my street. And I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind. I just need something that scratches that itch, because I really enjoyed the Arkham card series, but I didn't play enough of it. Yeah. I think this kind of, it's got that whimsical side of it as well, right?
Yeah, it's just like, it's not like super serious threat, like you're going to die. You're delivering biscuits, and you might have to go find someone to get a fishing pole or whatever. So it feels quite cozy as well in that aspect. But again, I don't know where the story goes. I don't know what happens, but I thought, sod it.
Awesome.
It's cool. I thought, why not give this a go? And I, like you, Davey, I just fancied that card game kind of itch.
Reminds me of the world from the other cozy game we played.
Mythwind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that kind of world where it's whimsically fantasy,
low stakes.
Yeah, low stakes.
Really low stakes.
Yeah.
You kind of dig that sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
That's me.
There we go. How about you, Rob?
So for me, more Elder Scrolls. As much as I can consume.
Rather than One Punch Man, you're one game man.
I think I'm going to be. But we have got an event coming up.
Are we?
with Ninja Geek Games.
Oh, we do.
And we are going to, all three of us are going to be playing Aliens.
Yeah, game over, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Just,
forgot.
just,
That's
just,
gonna be great, yeah.
just another day in the core.
Yeah.
And we played it wrong with Chris. And I enjoyed the hell out of it because it was so thematic. So this is going to be a bit nuts. So we're doing a one-off.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
with the talks of potentially doing a campaign. So it should be good fun.
The
So,
beauty
yeah,
of-
very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, the beauty of that is you can kind of drop in, drop out. It doesn't really matter. It's like we've all seen Aliens. We all know what happens.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know what? We're playing this scenario. Okay, cool. We're going to save Newt. We'll save Newt. We want to take the Queen down. We'll take the Queen down. All I'm saying is I want to be Hudson. Hudson is my jam because I just want to be like the guy who's like moaning all the time.
Game over, man.
I just
Game
want,
over.
I just want to be Apone and telling you to shut up
Yeah.
for like 4 hours.
Get over it. Get over it. Like, it's just the most quotable film everywhere of all time. I love it. So just to relive it in board game. And the fact that Mark's painted everything.
Oh, yeah, I
nice.
forgot about that.
Yeah, he's got it all painted. And
I did sign up and then realise it's on the same date. I'm meeting up with some old school friends, so I had to quickly unsign off.
it's the quickest sign up, sign out.
Yeah, it was like sign up and I was like, oh, no Alien for me.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you know how it goes, man. But it's,
Yeah,
it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So there we go. Funnily enough, we've all got some board games lined up, right?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah. So that's been my first player run for a while.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Something a bit different. I've got another one coming up. I've got another 2 coming up. So if you want to tune in for those, that'd be great. As always, if you want to support us, you can go to Coffee. We greatly appreciate all the help. I mean, our kit's got better because of it, because of you guys. We couldn't do this without you guys. If you want to get in contact with us, all the details in the show notes. And as always, whose turn is it anyway?